this time we thought we'd share our the call stories. And if you're a writer, you know what the call means. The call is when you sell your first book and an editor, subsequent books as well, but it's the first one that always really rings your bell and floats your boat. So we thought we would share our stories with you because it's one of those things you never forget exactly where you were and what you were doing when you got the call. So Holly, tell us about your call.
All right. Well, I had sold some things. I had sold a poem for $4 and decided poetry wasn't going to be it.
Not making enough money there.
Yeah, I sold some short stories. I sold a couple small books here and there. But my goal when I started writing was writing for Harlequin. At first it was Love and Laughter, and then they switched their comedy line to duets. And that's what I was working towards. And I was up in my office, and I think the baby was taking a nap. And somebody called, and I said, hello, and it's a voice I don't recognize. And I think I had to ask her to repeat a couple times, like who was it who was calling? Because I was not sure I was hearing it right, because they don't call you to say you suck, don't send us anything. The minute an editor starts talking on a phone, you're pretty sure you sold a book. And I was thrilled. And you know what I did later on that day? I went shopping for clothes baskets.
Yeah.
Because I'm wild with the celebration there.
Yeah, there you go. I was at home, and my son, who was about 10 at the time, was also at home. I had taken him to the dentist, and so since I had to take him to the dentist, I hadn't made him lunch. So we went from the dentist back home so that I could make a lunch for him. And the phone rang, and I answered it, and this unknown voice asked for me by my legal name and mangled it. And so when people would do that, I would always be like, who's calling? Because maybe I don't want to talk to you, I don't know.
Say my name right.
I don't know who you are, and you obviously don't know who I am because you can't say my name right. And she says her name from Harlequin. And so it's like, yeah, this is Susan. Yeah, this is Susan. And I'm calling to, let you know that we want to buy your book. Well, my son has come into the kitchen, and he's like looking at me with these really big eyes and wanting to know, because he could absolutely tell by my demeanor that like something major is going down here. And so one of the first words out of her mouth were, will you take a pen name? And I'm like, I'm one step ahead of you, because if you can't say my name, readers are not going to be able to say my name either. And that is how I became Susan Gable.
And to be honest, you thought about a different first name. What did I say?
Holly said, don't do it, Susan, because how am I going to know what to call you? And she was absolutely right. Like, keep the same first name so that people go, Susan! And you're like,
and
you turn around and you go, somebody's calling me.
Because if they were calling Gladys, would you look?
No, I probably wouldn't. It would have taken a long time, and I don't really see myself as a Gladys. But,
really, no.
But when I told her I had to take my son to school, and we set up a time. She was going to call me back, and I hung up the phone, and I screamed. And my son, now he's a 10-year-old. Like, we're not talking about a 5-year-old. My 10-year-old jumped into my arms, and we did this happy dance in the kitchen.
And I bought clothes baskets.
It was so wonderful. Well, wait, I'm not done with the story yet. It was so wonderful that he was there to share that moment with me, And so, the adrenaline rush is just, seriously, and I'm not a screamer, and I'm like going, ah! Ah! So we get in the truck to take him back to school, and I'm still like giddy. I am like absolutely giddy, and I'm laughing, and I'm occasionally shrieking, and my son looks over and he goes, Mom, you're not going to do that at school, right? Right, son? I'm done. Sorry, the celebration is now over, but thank you for bursting my bubble and bringing me back down to reality, because you can always count on kids to do that for you. So, but
Well, I've got to confess, I sold a few months after that Distiller Romance, my first book to them, and I said, ooh, we're going to celebrate tonight. We're getting Taco Bell. At the time, we had young kids
and no money,
no extra money,
no money,
and Taco Bell was a big
treat. Yeah,
and and she's like, oh, I hate Taco Bell. But my brother Larry loves Taco Bell, and a couple more books down the line, I introduced a character named Larry and added taco. There's a whole taco scene in Larry. That's my editor's brother, Larry. He's now famous. And so in the next book in the Perry Square series, Larry was going to be the hero. And she said, but they said Larry's not a hero's name. Yeah. So we've got to give him a different name. So I switched his last name. I think it was Mackenzie. So everybody called him Mac. But he still was Larry. And my heroine, who was a little sassy, called him Larry all the time because he didn't like him. He'd say, they all call me Mac. And she'd say, yeah, Larry, well, come on, Larry. And I put a whole
Bring it, Larry, bring it!
A whole nother taco scene. And to this day, if I go into Taco Bell, I think of Larry.
You remember that sell to that, yeah.
And that is, he's now like famous. So if you pick up Larry's book, go get some Taco Bell. And yeah, Taco Bell.
Or some other taco.
I'm taking care of you there.
Happy.
So,
but it really is one of those things that you never forget that, and
it never gets old.
No, I was gonna say subsequent sales also were always a deal because you didn't know if you were gonna sell another book or not. I went through a spell where I could not sell a book to the senior editor to save my life. It was not happening, and so every one was a victory. But that first one is very, very sweet and very poignant and a real big victory. And we have done a video where we talked about changes since Holly and I met and became friends 18 years ago. I know, it sounds crazy.
I was 5.
We were mere children when we became friends while I was driving to the conference. But yeah, so pay no attention to that point. But things have changed, and the ability to indie pub is a wonderful change and everything, and yet you
never
lose
get that call.
You don't get the call anymore if you're going indie. And we're not saying don't go indie. I'm a big fan of indies, but man,
that first call, I mean, seriously, when she called, and I don't even know, because I did not scream, nor did I do a dance with anybody. I bought clothes baskets, but truly, it was just that moment that you've worked so hard for, and it had other sales.
Yeah.
But in my mind's eye,
that was the one.
That was the one, because that is what I'd worked toward.
That was the brass ring
the whole time.
That was the brass ring.
I can't even say enough about how thankful I was to write for Harlequin. I worked with some of the most amazing editors over there.
Yep.
And
they throw a mean wicked party.
Oh, they
always did at the conferences. Well, the Harlequin parties rocked, the best parties ever. People used to try to crash their parties because they were so amazing.
But I count every sale is
a victory.
It is, and I just count myself as so lucky to have had the career I've had.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's a poignant moment from our histories as writers. So we appreciate you being here and listening to our stories, and stay around in the back seat, go on some more trips with us, maybe find one of those books and give them a read, write a review,
pitch in for the gas money that way
by buying a book. That's exactly it. And if you have any questions or topics that you'd like to hear us talk about, we'd love to hear from you. Send us emails. There's
wherever
probably
this is posted.
There's probably a comment space around this video wherever we have it posted, and we're gonna post it all over the place. So leave us a comment if you have a question or topic you want us to talk about, and
we hope you enjoyed this road trip.
This is probably the last video we're doing from our Syracuse road trip. So the next time that you come tripping with Holly and Susan,
we've got some ideas.
But
we're not going to tell you just yet.
We do have some ideas. We do have some ideas for some other road trips, and we look forward to having you trip along with us.
Have a good one.